Hey guys, so I just want to go over the glycemic index. Some people, probably most people, are aware of the glycemic index, and in case you're not, the glycemic index is a measure of how quickly food, mostly carbohydrates, get converted into sugar after you've consumed them. So straight sugar, when you eat it, it gets converted to a score of 100 in your bloodstream. So that's sort of the benchmark of how all other foods are compared. As if you eat like a protein or a fat, it's going to have a glycemic index of 0. Whole grains are going to have lower, still moderate. Something like a fruit or a vegetable, very low on the glycemic index. And where you will find the highest items that are on the glycemic index are processed carbohydrates like bread, rice, cereals, that sort of things, biscuits, cookies. You can imagine it in your hand. Almost the easier it is to crumble up into powder form, the whiter it is. Basically, it resembles the same as sugar. So when you're having a sugar or any kind of processed carbohydrate, when you eat it, it's going to quickly get converted into blood glucose. Then your body's going to have to then release a whole bunch of insulin to bring it back down to baseline, because your body wants to have a stable blood glucose. And to give you an idea, that's really only about 2 or 3 tablespoons of blood, of like sugar in your blood. So if you're eating in excess of that, you're going to have that spike in blood glucose, and then your body's going to have to work extra hard to bring it back down. And every time you do that, you're going to have inflammation, you're going to have fat gain, you're going to have these sort of periods where your body's in fluctuation and unstable. So you want to bring it back down to a stable level by eating, at the very least, if you're going to consume carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, you can imagine the more fiber, the more firm it is, the more difficult the sugar will be able to be released, and so you'll have a slower release of sugar when you consume it. So if you had a whole grain, maybe like a quinoa or a wild rice, it's fully intact, and your body's got to work away at it to actually get that amount of sugar out to actually use you for your body to use. So that's why it maintains you're still going to get a bit of a spike, but it's going to be much more gradual. And if you're an athlete or have a very busy lifestyle, you might actually need that amount of energy for the amount of performance that you do. But no one is going to need that spike, because that spike is really not good for you. So you want to maintain that low level of glycemic index, and then you could take it a step further in ketosis, where you're going to have a very stable, it's not even going to change because you're eating such low carbohydrate intake that you have completely stable blood sugar, and then your body actually starts to produce beta hydroxybutyrate and acetone. These are ketone bodies, and your body can use those as fuel sources instead of carbohydrate sugar. So you'll get a glycemic index of 0 when you eat protein and fat, which is desirable, or you eat complex carbohydrates, which get converted into sugar very slowly. So that's a basic explanation of the way the glycemic index works. Hopefully I've explained it clearly. If you've got any more questions, just comment below or leave any questions you might have. Thanks, guys.